Hey there, Assalamualaikum everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. Today we're going to be talking about an important topic, especially in times of either recovery or at times where you want to be putting your assets in somewhere smartly, not just see hype, throwing money smartly. Without any further ado, let's get this video started. So whenever somebody finds out that, hey, I do Islamic finance or I invest and I trade, they always want to know, hey, what should I put my money in? Or they always want to know which ETF or mutual fund do I need to put my money in. I've already talked about Halal ETFs. You can check out this video right here. Goes into details about where you can put your money in a lot less riskier methods. They always ask me, okay, what token should I put my money? Should I put all my money in Dogecoin? They laugh about it because they find out I'm in crypto. But I always say this one thing, and I've always said it to you guys also, and I repeat this: you have to know your risk tolerance. So do your risk test, and from there you'll know a little bit more about where to put your money. And these risk tests that you can do on yourself are very cheap, or some of them are for free online. You can just do it. There's like a few questions that you get. Potentially, they might even ask you for your credit score, and things like this, which help determine how are you with money. A lot of people in today's generation don't understand themselves with money. And I mean, this is one of the biggest example of this is in the West. Not so bad for the East, but especially for the West. The issue with the West is that, for example, if you there's data on this. If you own $1, you own $1.70 of debt. How are you gonna be a good investor if you don't even have the basic understanding how to work with debt? Right? It's horrifying and horrific when I think about it. People have $1.70 worth of debt, whereas they only own $1. It's something that for me is like, first fix up this concept, fix up your debt issues, then go into investments, right? And don't be like those people that were trying to be smart. Oh, I'll take up this massive debt and I'll pay 6% interest rate on it, and then put that into investments. First of all, that's not halal, okay, non-Sharia compliant, because you're taking a loan, paying riba on it, and then on top of that, you're gonna be picking up the risk of, if you don't pay back, you're locked into this system of like indirect slavery where you're going to have to keep paying back plus more because of the compounding effect. So it's not a mashallah, it's not a way to make that mashallah money. And even if you're picking up a loan from a friend and then investing, you better know that you are the best at investing before you do something like that. Because if you lose that money, you're also again in a problem because your friend trusted you with some assets, and now you're going to have a tough time paying it back. Right? So you've got to be smart about these things. And I don't recommend that. I only recommend that to people who are truly confident in their abilities to trade and blah, 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 blah. For example, if I know I'm going to make this trade and it's about 80 to 90% confidence level after I've done about 10 to 12 analysis on it, and I know I have, just in case if I do lose it, I have a way that, next month, since from some form of income, I can pay that person back. Right? Be smart about it. You got to know how to make that much money. Anywho, so let's just say you find out from your risk portfolio that you do have a higher risk aversion, which means you do not like risk. From that angle, honestly, would be confidential advice here. For the rest of the video, if I was more risk aversion, I would go to this video, the ETF video, and put my money in the ETF, because in the long run they have performed better than the markets, and it's halal Sharia compliant according to their boards of Sharia, not mine. Went deep into it. I have my personal understanding that's a little bit different than the IOF regulation, but for the overall market, it's easier to understand. Just one of these funds should be fine for you guys in due diligence perspective. Okay, now let's just say you have the ability to invest in more than just something that you have a lower risk aversion. You are risk liking individual, right? Depending on that metric, it will help you determine. Now I can go a little bit into something like a REIT investment, which is a real estate mutual fund or ETF, which is maybe a little bit more volatile than your main mutual funds, which I mentioned here, because these are market mutual funds. And then maybe you can go into things like blue chip technologies. Obviously, make sure that they're halal. And I've talked a lot about how you can know which stock is halal. I can put a video up here, or you can search it up in my channel. You'll find out many videos. And then you put your money in there. And if you can take more risk, then things like a mid-sized company which has an upside, higher upside. And if you can take a lot more risk, then you start coming into bigger portfolios like some startups, some crypto, some potentially low cap stocks, right? And you make a bucket of each thing, right? You gotta have a diversified portfolio. You hear about this all the time. Do not put all your eggs in the same basket. So make sure that you understand how much you can put in each tolerance of volatility, and then you make these buckets and you manage them accordingly. I would not recommend, if you're a family man and if you have low disposable income, to try to go into the higher risk parts. Obviously, not financial advice. If you want to do it, you do it. That's on you. But and if you are on, if you have more disposable income and you're like, yeah, man, I have money saved around, I have 10, 20, 30, $40,000. What do how can I make this into a good investment? And I'm not really afraid to lose it because I know I'm solid in my income coming in. Then you can go for the more volatile buckets and make a bigger upside, right? And we're talking about 100, 200, 300% over a year, which is usually a really good rate to get. And then you can also even experiment with like things like copy trading or AI trading or bot trading. I've talked about these things. Not all of them are halal. You have to be very careful in which ones you're getting yourself into, because a bot is a bot. A bot is, if it doesn't know which token is halal, or you can confine it only within these two token pairs. Do whatever you want to do and making sure it's only spot trading, nothing to do with leverage, derivatives, blah, 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 blah. Correct? So you can do all these things. So start off with this, understand who you are, then start making buckets, then start putting the money into the buckets, and then tracking it. And now, if you're not someone who understands technical and fundamental analysis, you want to make sure what are the masses investing in or trading in, right? And they're not doing, sorry, I shouldn't say trade, because if you don't know what you're doing, then don't trade. Just do investing. Long term, 6 months to a year to 5 years to 10 years type of thing. And just go in there and from that angle. Do not try to trade if you don't know, because in the trading world, 90% people lose money, 10% win. And trust me, when those 10% that are winning, they're always winning because they know themselves and they've been trading for long enough and they've made enough losses that now they have a strategy that for them always works. So I've also talked about this, how to trade and all this stuff. And I've traded for some time in my life. It's a little bit very mind taking, like it takes up a lot of your brain's power. So if you're not that type of person, it's not for you. Cat, once you have invested, you start tracking your fund, right? You start seeing how the fund is moving, how's it, jumping, all that stuff. Then the next thing is you take out the funds. Let's say you made a profit of 30%, 40%, 50%, 20%, 10%. You take out that money and you do income cleansing. Now, if there's stocks, according to IOF rules, it's 30%. I've said this multiple times. And with crypto, I also recommend to do income cleansing. I would just, for your making your life easy, because it's profits, just do a 30% income cleanse on that also. With real estate, you might want to check online how to do income cleansing. And all these, depending on whichever other asset you're doing, check online, because depending on location and how you've done it, it might adjust accordingly. Income cleansing honestly is potential haram income that you made from your investments. And if you understand the IOF regulations, you understand why they're saying the 30%. Okay. If you don't know the regulations, IOF will take you some time to understand. I would just say make your life easy, give the 30%.
Nice.
Okay, now let's just say you've done income cleansing. Now you have this money, this juicy chunk of money. Alhamdulillah, you thank Allah. You make dua for Mashallah money guy. His name is Ahmed. You say, may Allah bless him, and whatever else dua you want to make for me, make it. I'm happy to accept it, as long as it's about Jannah and keep giving me a good life. Then you have to do, preparations for zakat. And for that, there's multiple online calculators. You can use them. You can know how much zakat you need to pay on these things. This is pretty much a journey. And I know I didn't go into very specifics on which stocks and which ETFs, which cryptos, because I've talked all about that within this channel enough times. The only reason why I'm making this video is because recently I've had so many people come up to me and be like, oh, what should I invest in exactly? Or which mutual fund? This is a summary, and inshallah, I'll be sending it off to all of them to make my life easier. If you like this video, comment below. Let me know what you guys are doing in regards to your own portfolio. I'd love to learn. I love meeting brothers who are into these things, who are into investing, who are into making that mashallah money. Very important, making halal income for your family, barakah. So let me know. Check me out on my other social media. And as always, take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum.